everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new movie on Netflix, Midnight Sky, starring George Clooney, Felicity Jones, David Oyelowo, and this movie is directed by George Clooney. And this movie is currently streaming on Netflix, and it is currently trending on Netflix #1. Despite all this content came out during this holiday period on Netflix, it is #1. And this movie is currently sitting on Rotten Tomatoes score. Critic score is only 53% and audience score is 25%. So what it tells you? Tells you this movie is not liked by everyone. No way this movie will be enjoyed by everyone. This movie will be enjoyed by a specific group of people, like who actually finished this movie. They will like this movie. People who a lot of people probably didn't finish this movie because this movie, first half of this movie is so slow. Like when I was watching, it's unbearably slow paced, first half of this movie. But second half of this movie, it does picked up. There is some exciting set pieces and some exciting thing happens. But you have seen all this thing before. It's nothing new. What I liked about this movie is I thought George Clooney, he gave really good performance. Like he kept the audience engaged throughout this movie with his performance because he's so good. He's George Clooney, and all the other this movie take place in two timeline. One timeline in George Clooney, he's in Arctic, he's in snow, so much snow. And the other set pieces take place in Felicity Jones and in the ship and with her crews. So I thought all the scene with the George Clooney. I think this movie deliberately so slow, like you are just sitting there and waiting something to happen. But it takes long time to something to happen. And there's also some flashback, like you go back and see some stuff. So this review is gonna be spoiler after now. So I really enjoyed this movie, but I acknowledge most people will not like this movie. I liked this movie probably because, as I said, George Clooney, his performance was really good. Is this movie as good as Ad Astra? No, no, it's not as good as Ad Astra, which is also a lot of people didn't like. So I really like Ad Astra. But this movie could have been great, but this movie doesn't have Ad Astra budget. This movie is a Netflix movie. I can see all the money went to pay George Clooney in this movie when you watch it. Because all the set pieces, they don't look that expensive. Cinematography, however, looked exciting in this movie, better than other Netflix movie. This movie did look better than other Netflix movie. But recently I've seen this show called Away on Netflix. That show had like similar set pieces like this one. So I don't know if this movie set pieces were given to that show. That's how it goes in Netflix. Because their movies or the show, it looks like they're high budget, but they're not really. If you know what I mean. So I thought this movie isn't as good as Ad Astra, but it still is good. But this movie had inspiration. You can see it has taken from that movie because so I'm going to be going spoiler now, because in Ad Astra, Brad Pitt's character, or like he wonders about his dad whole his life, like even he goes to the deep end of the space to find his dad. Then he thinks about his wife he left behind in that movie. Same thing is happening here in a way, like George Clooney, he's thinking about his wife and the daughter he left behind to pursue this career on space. So he thinks about, or should I say, he thinks about his regret not being with her whole her life. That is what this movie is focused on. And when at the end this movie he talks to the Felicity Jones, don't come to the earth, like he finally gives her that message, and he says like, oh, Irish, like in that scene, of course you realize that Felicity Jones is his daughter, and the Irish the little girl isn't real. Come on, the minute this little girl showed up, you know she's not real, because the way this movie was done, you can see it. She's not like there. So I thought this movie's direction isn't very good, because like the way the storytelling for this movie, it's not good. Because this movie, like, especially when I think about the ending inspiration it has taken from the Interstellar, you know, that movie, how Matthew McConaughey, he goes to a planet and then the time changes, like the time thing happened, like he lost a lot of years. I think same thing happening here, except this movie doesn't do good job. Neither is that movie, but this movie doesn't do good job telling audience like what is happening. And the way this movie end left people in, I didn't think that much, but I saw a lot of people are wondering, is that means like these two people only left on Earth? I didn't think that was the case, because like I bet some people out there in space somewhere, we don't know. Because this movie was focused on only this family, like George Clooney and his family. That's why I felt like, based on the movie, I thought like it was showing us, like, it seems like that only Felicity Jones and David Oyelowo's character the last people on Earth. But I bet there are some people out there. That's how I took. Even Kyle Mooney, his character, Kyle something, his name, he went to find his family. Where are they? Are they dead? I don't know. Was they? I didn't understand where, like. Anyway, my point is, I didn't take it as like these are the last people on Earth, but some people took it and they're like, why they are the last people on Earth? I think it bothered them. Still, I saw a lot of people checked it out, this movie, because sometimes when people get pissed the way this movie was constructed, like it's so slow. There is some set pieces, like exciting set pieces, is the when they go out to ship, fix the ship. Every space movie has this scene, like this, like the ship crew will go out and fix the ship, and someone will die. It's so predictable. So in this movie, when this Maya's character wasn't dying, I was like, is she gonna survive? Because I knew the Felicity Jones, she's not gonna die because like she's pregnant, and David Oyelowo's character, I was thinking he's gonna die, or this Maya's character. I don't know why I thought one of these people will die, and she did die at the end of that scene. I was like, that makes sense. So that sequence where her blood was like floating around, I thought that scene was interesting. Yeah, so this movie, yes, first half of this movie, so many people will be bored, which I can see. I didn't mind watching this movie, but as I'm saying, some people will not like this movie, and some people might be. I really like, because I know space movie, they're always slow burn, so I was expecting it, but same time I recognize most people will not like this movie. That was my thought on this movie. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, and please leave your comment what do you think about this movie, and take care.